Hello, Red Earth team. Welcome to our weekly call. Matt Ham here. I'm the co-founder of Uprint Faith and Personal Development, and we have a collaboration with Red Earth as the overseeing the digital learning aspect as well as culture development here at Red Earth. It's always a pleasure to jump on with you guys. Hope you are able to access all of this on our YouTube channel as well. We are finishing up a 17-part series on teamwork. That's been a really great refresher for the dynamic of teamwork, why it's important, so you can catch all of that, go back and review it at any point in time you need to. But today is the final installment. So the law today that we're talking through, it's John Maxwell's 17 laws of teamwork. We're kind of adapting them to new home sales and new home development, pre-development communities that you guys are a part of, is the law of dividends. The most powerful asset, the most powerful tool in investing is compound interest. It's where you put $1 in this week, and it compounds, and you get a penny, and then you've got $1.01, and it compounds. You get $1.02, you get $1.03, and before you know it, that compounding curve is a J curve. It's an exponential return. That's why money over time compounded is one of the greatest assets in investing. And the same is true within teams. I think the problem is that we live in an instantaneous culture. We got it now. We grew up with microwaves. We want something hot, we throw it in a microwave, right? But we don't slow cook a rib roast, for 8 hours, or a brisket for 8 or 10 hours. We want to pop something in the microwave, get it now. Social media has also taught us to rely on the instantaneous nature of technology, right? You can FaceTime someone in China right now if you wanted to. And so we begin to think that everything is that way, instantaneous. But when it comes to building teams, when it comes to things in nature, it is still a process of growth. You don't plant a seed and demand an apple right then and there. It's a process of growth. The same is true in our teams. It's a process of growth that we go to. So investing in a team is something that yields fruit over time. This is the law of dividends, the law of compounding interest. Another way to look at it is investing in your team and building a team is a marathon, not a sprint. It's a marathon, not a sprint. One of the things that we teach when you're thinking about running a marathon or running a long distance race, if you ever have, when you stay on course, there are aid stations every mile or so to refuel you and keep you encouraged. Same is true with a team. Same is true with pursuing your own purpose. When you stay on course and you're moving forward, there's going to be encouragement along the way that keeps you going. But if you get off track, or if you run your own course or your own race, you're going to lack the encouragement that you need to keep going. So think about this as a marathon and not a sprint. I've always read this, that major organizations spend so much of their resources, time and money, investing in new hires. So you have companies that literally spend about $100,000 per recruiting, training a new hire. And I remember a quote, I can't remember exactly who it was. It says, how do you justify spending that much money on a new hire? And the answer of the CEO is, how could you not? Great organizations, great teams spend massive amounts of resources in developing key leaders and then raising them up as part of the team for a long-term vision and sustainability within the team. He quotes one of the most successful basketball coaches of all time, as a high school basketball coach, actually, that very few people know. He said, the key is always in developing the kids and using your team to be successful. This guy had coached for 40 years or something like that, and DeMatha High School, I believe, and he said it's always about developing the kids. The coach is not the one who wins the ball games. It's the kids who win the ball games. And so the same concept applies with a team. You've got to develop key team members, key leaders, and then empower them over time to take the brand and the company vision and make it successful for generations and years to come. That's the key part of building an excellent organization. And that's certainly what we want to do here at Red Earth. So think about this in your own career, individually, but think about this within the team that you're a part of. This is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's not a short-term game. Your personal development, your business development, your success is a long-term game. Are you investing with a compound interest mindset? I've got a 10-year-old son. His name's Matthew, and right now he is on the All-Star team. The interesting thing is it's the 11-year-old All-Star team. He has one of the youngest birthdays. He doesn't turn 11 until next month, and their tournament's this month. So he's a 10-year-old, almost 11, playing with 11-year-olds, almost 12-year-olds. And so he's getting a bit discouraged because, he's that age. There's a lot of dynamic within a year. Kids grow up a lot within a year. It's kind of right at that pubescent phase. And he's saying, Dad, I'm working so hard to play third base. I'm working so hard. I said, buddy, you've been working hard for 2 months, and I'm proud of you. I said, but think about working hard for the next 12 months. I said, this is a long game. Your baseball career does not happen when you're 10, 11 years old. If you want to play, if you love the game, you're putting in work today that is going to benefit you when you play in middle school, that's going to benefit you when you play in high school. You have to have a long vision here. He's 10 years old. He's got 8 years to get through high school, so he's got 8 years to develop. It's hard for him to understand that. But the same is true of business people when they have a childish mindset. They want, man, I've worked hard for 2 weeks, Well, guess what? Work hard for 2 years, for 10 years. Build something sustainable. Greatness is something that is compounded over time. This is the law of the dividends. That's how it applies to you individually. How does it apply to us as a corporate team, as a group, as a team at our individual communities? Listen, building excellent communities and building excellent teams around those communities is something that happens over time. And so Maxwell really breaks down 10 things that we as individuals and leaders can think about when building a team and making sure we're getting the best possible people in the seats, the leaders in the seats, to carry the vision forward. So number one, he said, you've got to make a decision to build a team. You have to say, as a leader, as an organization, our primary goal here is to build an excellent team. That is the beginning of investing. The initial part of any investment is someone making a decision to actually invest. The same is true here. The second thing is to gather the very best team possible. In the rules of investing, you want to make sure that you have sound investments. The same is true here. Gather the best team possible. This is going to put your potential at a very high level. The third thing, he's got 10 of these, okay? So the first is make the decision to build. Number 2 is gather the best team. Number 3, he says pay the price of development. Pay the price of development. You actually have to put money into an investment to make it grow. You've got to continue to add money into an investment to capitalize on its growth. So as a team, you have to pay the price of development. This is often what separates teams that flounder out versus those who push through the hurdle, is those who are willing to pay the price. Willing to pay the price of development, willing to put in the work, willing to invest in themselves, willing to invest in the team. Number 4, you've got to do things together as a team. The team has to be a part of a community. The team has to understand that they rely on one another. These are all the laws of teamwork we've gone through here. You understand that you're not independent on your own, a lone ranger. You're part of a team. So the team has to begin to do things together. Listen, you might not like everybody on the team. That's okay. To be on a team does not mean you have to agree with everybody, but there has to be an understanding of the team goal to be able to contribute to that as an individual team member. There has to be community. The 5th thing he says is that you have to empower team members with responsibility and authority. A lot of times leaders just do things themselves, and they have a very controlling mindset toward it. And they're afraid to empower other team members because the other team members aren't going to get it done. They're worried about, the other team member not doing it well enough or whatever. But in order for a team to be dynamic and to grow and to be successful and for the dividends to pay out, they have to empower team members with responsibility. So think about this. As a team leader, as somebody who leads a team, if you are you properly empowering your team members to be successful and take responsibility? Or are you covering for them when they mess up? Are you pushing them to grow? Or are you going, I know it's okay. There's a lot going on. You don't have to worry about that. Think about team leaders and how you are empowering the team around you. Also, as an individual, are you willing to take responsibility and authority? You're willing to step up when you need to. So this goes for both personal and corporate, individual and corporate. Number 6, he says, give credit for the success to the team. When you win, the team gets credit. When you lose, the leader takes credit, right? That's always kind of a rule of thumb when it comes to great teams, great leadership, and lasting success. When the team succeeds, celebrate it. Celebrate it. Celebrate it. Number 7, he says, watch to see that the investment in the team is paying off. You have to manage your results, gauge your results, okay? This is the analysis part of this. Is it working? How are we growing? Are we succeeding? This is in the investment game. You've got to look back. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize I had a terrible investment in there. That company went bankrupt. I need to sell out, cut my losses, and move on. Which moves into number 8 here. Stop investing in players on the team who are unwilling to grow. This is the hardest part of teams, getting rid of baggage, getting rid of, of the ankle bracelet that's attached to the cannonball, right? There are team members that are energy sucks. They're Eeyores. They're going to drain you. They're going to hold you back. And it's hard because you want to always empower people, believe in people, see the best in people. But at a point when they're unwilling to grow, you've got to cut them off. You've got to get rid of bad investments, okay? You've got to get rid of bad investments. So that's why you've got to pay attention and be willing to cut them off. Number 9, we always have to create new opportunities for the team. Right? A team can't grow beyond kind of where it's challenged. You know what I mean? If a team set out to climb Mount Everest, going back to the law of Mount Everest, and all we're doing is climbing the small hill in our backyard, we're never going to get there. We have to always go to the next step, right? I love the analogy and old kind of philosophy teaching is hill A and hill B. If someone sets out to climb the highest mountain and they climb mountain A and they put all of their energy in and all their effort and the team is sweating, the team is tired, and they get to the top of hill A, mountain A, and all of a sudden the clouds clear and they look ahead and there's the higher hill B or mountain B ahead of them. Every great team has a decision. Do I descend down to climb the higher hill B, or do I stay in the comfort of hill A? Great, excellent teams are always going to climb to the next highest level. So we have to create new opportunities as leaders for them to grow. And finally, number 10, he says, give the team the best possible chance to succeed. There are always obstacles that are going to be in the way, right? There's always challenges that are going to come. So for a leader and for someone who is heading up a team or your own individual self, make sure you're removing obstacles. Make sure you're always removing obstacles to give yourself the best chance to succeed, which means you've got to be analyzing, looking over what it is that you're doing. And so I really liked the way he wrapped this up with the law of dividends. He said, hey, don't forget, it's a long-term game. Don't get discouraged if you don't have success immediately. Know that this is about sowing seed and it's about staying the course for the long-term victory. And here's how you can do that. And he gives us these 10 things. So going back through those really quick, in order to invest in the team, in order to capitalize on compound interest, in order to capitalize on the dividends and the law of the dividends, number 1, make the decision to build the team. Number 2, get the best people possible for the team. Number 3, pay the price of development. Number 4, build community and do things together. Number 5, empower team members to take responsibility. Number 6, give credit for success to the team. Celebrate successes. Number 7, always look back over and analyze and watch what's happening with the team. Make sure the investment's paying off. To that end, you might have to cut out lead weight or dead weight. Stop investing in players who don't want to grow. Number 9, always create new opportunities to push the team higher. And number 10, give the team the best possible chance to succeed by removing obstacles. So a great kind of 10-step recap from Maxwell here on Law 17, the law of the dividends. Again, this has been a great little study here. Here's the book of going through these 17 different principles, these 17 different laws. A lot of it is refresher, I know, for us. But again, looking at this thing as a holistic picture, you start to see the importance of teams. That if you want to accomplish great things, teams do that well. But there's things that you have to do along the way. You know, there's all of these laws in here that we've gone through, and you can go back through the videos and check it out. There's a lot to learn from, but it's essential that we have to have teams around us. I know this has helped me in my own growth as our organization. I've not done a great job of empowering others to take the vision and move forward, and so this has really charged me up and reminded me of the importance of this in our own organization, and I hope it's done the same for you. So friends, thanks for tuning in. That's the final law, the law of dividends, in John Maxwell's 17 indisputable laws of teamwork. Hope you guys enjoyed this series. And of course, we've got more on our YouTube channel, so you can always check that out. Many thanks, and we'll see you.